my friend is having a situation with the roommate. Not so much the roommate, but the sister, because they live together. So over the years, they've just been having so many tussles, back and forth, back and forth, back and forth. One of the sisters has gone through a lot in life. She's gone through just anything that you can think of, from betrayal, rejection. She's lived in the streets. She's done so many things. She's suffered, she's struggled and toiled in all manner of ways. But at some point, mercy and grace was extended to her, and now she has her own place and she's living with the sister. And the sister hasn't uh, not that she hasn't seen much, but she's had her fair share of situations in life, and they ended up living together. So over the years, they've had back and forth issues. So the other day, Alpha got to a place where she was like, it's time for her to go and just now do her, get her own place and extend herself, spread her wings and fly. But the sister is not thinking the same. She doesn't want to go. She wants to stay. She wants to establish herself within Alpha's space and spread her wings within Alpha's space. So Alpha is in a tussle. Alpha is upset. She's spewing fire. So I asked her, what's the issue? This is your sister. This is your biological sister. What is the issue? So she's like, no. I have gone through A, B, C, and D. And now let her also go and face her own things in life. I've extended myself enough, and enough is enough. And I could tell she was so upset. I was like, so what is the problem? Why are you upset? Because there seems to be some underlying issue. What is the issue? And she's like, no, I just feel like also I've gone through life and I've done my own thing and I've had my own share of experiences. She needs to leave my space. This space, I went through A, B, C, and D, swam through Z, X, Y, did all these things to get to where I'm at. She also needs to leave and go and have her own experiences and have her own space. And at that time, the only thing that crossed my mind was to warn her. I told her, Alpha, let me tell you something. You've gone through all this. You've gone through fire and brimstone, high waters, high seas. There's nothing you've not seen in this life, but you made it through because the grace that was extended to you. If you make the mistake of turning your sister away, that will be the beginning of your actual downfall. And you might ask why everyone has to go through their own thing. Everyone has to establish themselves. Everyone has to be empowered in one way or the other. You go through A, B, C, and D so that the next person next to you doesn't go through it. And even if they go through it, you are judged differently by the way you respond to them or interact with them. And you might think, oh, it's unfair, that's not fair, everyone should have their fair share of this and that. It just is the way it is. I went through so many things. But when I met somebody else who never went through any of that, and at one point we had an issue, there was a tussle, and I said A, B, C, and D, and I was judged harshly. And at that point, I couldn't understand. I was like, is it that I can't just get a breather? Is it that there's these expectations over my head that doesn't extend to everyone else? Yes, where grace is expressed, where grace is dispensed, you are expected. You are expected being the key word. It is demanded. To whom much is given, much is required. You cannot do that to another person. You went through it. You experienced it, A, B, C, D, until Z. You know the torment that you went through because of that. You know the emotions, the turmoils, the trauma, everything that you went through that, you know. So whether this other person has triggered whatever reaction that you're giving towards them, whatever emotion you're attaching to them, it doesn't matter. The minute you will rise against this person, because this is you in a different light, is the day the universe will show you. You will collect water from the universe's hand. Things don't work out the way we think. You are not expected to mistreat somebody in the same way somebody mistreated you and then start talking about, I went through it, this person has done A, B, C, and D. Let me tell you, dispensation of grace is different for everyone. The minute you do that to somebody and you've gone through that, you are rescued from that situation, and only for you to come back this side and do it to somebody else, believe me, the repercussions will be different. There will be dire repercussions because you know better. You know better. You have seen that situation in and out. You are not expected to do that on any level. It does not matter what this other person has done to you. You are not expected to do that. And you will think that, okay, even me, I will do that, because there are times you see people sinning according to you, you'd be like, they're sinning, and you see them having the first chance, second, third, fourth, 10th, upteenth, then you'll do it, you'll be like, but I'm justified. It's that one that you think you're justified to perform. That will be your end, your downfall. And whatever grace that was dispensed over your head is pulled back. And then now it's you contend with the universe. Do not treat others badly. Even if you feel you've been provoked in any way or form, do not do that. Don't do that to others. Even if you've extended yourself to the extent where now you're wearing thin, do not mistreat anyone. Even just asking somebody to leave, you can still do it in a very, very, conscious way. Even rejecting someone, you can do it in a conscious way. Oh, it's not you, it's me. And it's not that you're using the stereotypical nonsense people project out here. No, on a true level, you just like, it's me. I have issues with commitment. I have issues with relationship, and I'll be wasting your time if I do A, B, C, and D. And right now, I'm not in a situation where I will be able to extend myself in the best way possible for us, because it's two of us, and it would be so unfair to both of us, because I know I will not do it for you. And in the beginning, you might think, oh, it's okay, we will go together, we will wade the high waters together, we will the turns, and we will take them together. No, you just tell them the truth. But if you want to patronize people, you want to just smear all sorts of nonsense over them, because you're malicious, you're mean-spirited, and your excuse is, I went through that, I toughened up. They should know. It doesn't work like that. A lot of things in this life do not work the way you think. If not everything, it does not work the way you think. And you'll have such a hard time trying to perceive everything and just trying to explain everything to your head and to make it correct and be like, I am justified in smacking that person because he did A, B, C, and D, and me, when I did A, B, C, and D, I was beaten up. The judgment over your head will be something else. Do not do that. You can always extend grace. You can always extend peace for the sake of peace. Not your peace, but that which has been spoken over you and over, even if that person is misbehaving how? You can't pay them with the same coin that you received, surely. Surely. You can't do that. Don't do that. Don't do that, then say things like, they've provoked my wrath. What nonsense wrath are you talking about? You went through that situation when somebody dealt with you like that. Why would you do that to somebody else? Do not do that. You are in that situation for a reason. There are those famous statements like, everyone has their own path. When you get to your hole, you let them fall in so they know how it feels. No, you're not. First of all, we're not supposed to go through that. There's a reason. There's a statement that says that those who went before us prepared the way for us and made every crooked way straight. Whatever you learned along your path, you can extend it verbally. You can explain it. They don't have to go through that. They don't have to be traumatized to learn the things of life. You went before them, you teach them. You guard them, you protect them, you order their steps, you establish them, you empower them, you encompass them, and you deliver them from all harm and evil. It's not. I'm not religious. It's just life. Life teaches you these things. Do not do that to anyone, please, irrespective of what they're doing to you. At the end of the day, there will be no difference between you. That's what many people say, but there is a difference, a very big difference, because you know better. You know better. And life will deal with you. Let me tell you, life deals with you. You come out of there, it's like you've gone through a shredder, then now you are put into a blender. And even then, you're not even allowed to pass on. There's no checking out. Then now you're pulled into this other side. Then now you're passed through a brick and mortar. Don't do that. It's not like that. It's not that life is unfair. But there's a level of grace, dispensation of grace that wards off against nonsense. And you responding like that is nonsense. It does not make sense because you've been in that situation where you were on the receiving end. Now you want to do it to someone else. You want to now assume the position of the dictator, yeah, the anal plug. Now you just want to expand yourself and just to spew all manner of nonsense onto somebody else because you went through that and it toughened you up. So now even them, no, don't do that. Exercise caution, exercise common sense. And the most ironic thing is when you're doing this, you will be reminded of that situation by everything around you. You even tell strangers that you went through that situation. All this is a confirmation because the condemnation over you is about to be dispensed and judgment has already been proclaimed. That's how you find that things you want to do, total strangers warn you against it. You want to start to walk out. People are like, no, don't do that. How? Like, no. That a total stranger. It's because of the level of rebuke that is about to descend over you. The level of punishment and condemnation and that is about to fall on your head. So you get warned all round. And my thoughts were, hey, if she, I don't even know them that well, but I was just thinking if this is, and I told her, me, my feeling is this is if you do this thing will provoke wrath on a level you know nothing about. My dear, you will die, you will struggle, you will toil, and you will not check out because of this thing you're about to provoke. And she's like, no, I have gone, and I said, I have told you my own. I don't speak much because I'm more of an introvert. But when I speak, I always make sure it's heard. Don't do that. Please, anyone out there, don't do that. Do not do that. Because they laid traps for you. Do not lay traps for others. Or even them themselves who lay traps for you. Do not do that. Release others from whatever past mistakes they may have committed to you or against you. Release others from whatever judgment and condemnation you're holding them or holding over them. And I learned that whatever emotions and feelings you harbor towards somebody else, they also start perceiving the same emotions and feelings toward you. Because at times I'm a bit fluid, so my voice keeps going in and out. Because at times you just start harboring these funny thoughts and feelings over somebody and you're like, I don't like so and so. And then now you're just quiet. You don't tell anyone, but then you notice even them, they repel you also. What you attract attracts you also. What you repel repels you also. Stop that. Please stop that. It's not necessary. And I know many people are going through that. I know many people are facing all manner of situations and issues. And it always boils down to what choice do you make? It's choice. There's freedom of choice. You decide. And then what's the chain reaction that takes place? Pull back. Disengage from all this. Stop that. I hope you're wise in your choices and your decisions over everything. Behave. It's expected of you. It's demanded. It's mandatory that you behave. What somebody else does has no business being the SI unit of how you will now behave or carry yourself. You carry yourself regardless of what others are doing. You do you. Be unapologetically inclined and on the right path. And I'll say it again, stop that. Stop your misbehaving and you know it. Stop it. Ashe, ashe, ashe. Grand rising in every aspect and for your greater good. Grand rising.